Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Tiff Stellar Reads. I'm Tiffany, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 5 books that I will be reading for Knotty November. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm so excited to see you all again. So for this month's TBR, I decided to do something a little bit different. Each month I'm going to have a theme and I'm going to read 5 books surrounding that theme, and then I will add books throughout the month that go with the theme or do not go with the theme as I read throughout the month. So that way that I can really be ramped up and excited to read my TBR actually. And just to add some other books with it. That way I can actually give you all an end of month wrap up, which I haven't been able to do lately because I've been reading a lot of short stories, which they're good, but they're not enough to really make a video on. By the way, I have been reading short stories by authors Zara Jordan, Lila Stokes, and Skylar Silver, and they write like monster romances and alien romances, so that's basically what I've been doing mainly. But with this themed month plan that I have, it's really exciting me, and I'm excited to actually take the time and read these 5 books that I've selected. So for the month of November, November is going to be Knotty November, and not as in naughty like you've done something wrong. It is going to be focused around knots. And if you read paranormal romance, you probably know what I'm talking about. It's basically like a paranormal entity in their extracurricular activities. They attach themselves to a human woman in that extracurricular activity. Yeah, that's the best how I can explain it on YouTube, but pretty much it's a pleasurable activity. And this mainly happens in the Alpha and Omega verse type of books, which I do not read that often. And so this month I'm challenging myself to read some, and these 5 books are a combination of shifter / paranormal romances and also alien romances. And the theme is knot, so that is where the naughty comes from. So I'm going to talk with you about the 5 books that I have picked out for Knotty November. I hope that these books are something that possibly you all will read this month as well too, or maybe in the future. And so yeah, so enough of me rambling. Let's just get into the video and talk about the 5 books that I've selected for Knotty November. So the first book that I am reading for Knotty November is Kian, and this is the first book in the Boundrylands series by Callie Rhodes, and this is book 1 of 15. So hopefully if I do like this book, I will actually continue on with the series. But yes, this is going to be the first book that I'm reading, and I'm going to read you the synopsis. No woman willingly travels to the Boundrylands. It's where they are, the Alphas. They keep to themselves in the wilderness, and beta civilization knows to keep its distance, especially beta women, for fear they may not be a beta after all. The only way to know your true nature is to feel the touch of an alpha. Omegas may be rare, but every woman knows their fates are hellish, held captive, broken, mated, knotted, and bred. But Paige doesn't have a choice. Hunted by a vengeful fiancé, her only hope for survival lays in the hands of a primal alpha miles beyond the boundary. The reality she finds in the Boundrylands is different than the horror stories she's been told her whole life. Life is feral and wild, but it calls to her in a way she can't refuse. When Paige touches Kian's body, everything changes, and in an instant she knows the alpha beside her will either be her salvation or her doom. And so that is the synopsis, and the author is also letting us know that this is an Omegaverse, and it features knotting, heats, and possession. So, and she says to wear gloves because this is hot. So that is the first book that I will be reading. Now, I do not read a lot of Alpha and Omega books, but this one really spoke to me. For one, I really liked the cover. Second, I just like the Alpha and Omega dynamic. I like the dominant nature that the Alphas present in these books. So yeah, that is the first book that I will be reading, and I am very excited to be jumping into that. Book number 2 that I will be reading for Knotty November is Choosing Her Alpha by Isoellen. And this is book 1 of 2 in the 12 Sectors series. And I have had this book on my TBR for a while. So I've been wanting to read it. So this is a great excuse to come and pick it up. And this is the synopsis for this book. Sasha's situation has reached critical mass. Her mother is dying, and her stepfather, Merrick, is a jackal waiting to stake his claim the second she is legal. In her world, Sasha is promised a choice. But if Merrick gets his way, she will be married before anyone can protest against it. Desperate to secure the future of herself and her workers, Sasha makes a dangerous gamble. She seeks out Constantine Kane, the most feared and respected man in the 12 sectors. Sasha has made her choice. Will it be one she lives to regret? So that synopsis is kind of vague, but I actually like it when it's vague like that so I can come to my own conclusions. But this sounds super duper interesting. I'm wondering what kind of deal she's going to strike with this guy, Constantine Kane. That's a really awesome name, by the way. I'm really excited to see how that all unfolds and how this romance unfolds. There is a warning here. It is a dystopian romance, and it includes scenes of violence and power exchange. So if those aren't your jam, you probably don't want to read this, but I do. So this is going to be the second book on my TBR. I'm really excited to see what Sasha does in order to help her mother and escape this dreary life that she apparently is living. Book number 3 that I will be reading for Knotty November is going to be Trained for Their Pleasure. And this is book 5 of 19 of the Coveted Prey series by L.V. Lane. And I have read one book in this series. I did read The Centaur in My Valley. And I don't know which number that one is, but that one was really, really good. I had never even read a centaur romance before, but centaurs are hot. So I really enjoyed that book. So I decided to pick up this one because I know that this has alphas in it and it also has knotting in it. So, and you can read these books out of order. The author actually has a note on there, so you can pretty much pick up whichever one you want. You don't have to start at book 1. So this is the synopsis for book 5. I'm a widow. I have no interest in another husband, never mind being claimed as a barbarian's mate. But he's taking me away, both him and his brother. A maiden can be trained, he says, trained to satisfy a barbarian. And so my training begins. So that is very, very vague, I know, but the main reason I picked this up is because this book reminds me of Taming Their Maiden by Demi Lane. And it's a series that kind of sounds similar to this. It's about barbarian men taking a maiden and training her, you know, for their pleasure. That was the main reason I picked this up, and I wanted to see if it really did have those vibes because I really like that. So I'm interested to see what happens with our widow in here and how they train her. But yes, this book also has knotting in it. And they say that the two barbarians are determined to own their sweet but stubborn mate. So I'm excited to read this, see how the barbarians deal with our heroine in this book, and see how the knotting goes, because that's why I picked it up. Right, and so these next 2 books that I'm going to be sharing with you are actually alpha alien romances that contain knotting. I have not read those before, but as everyone knows, alien romance is my jam, so of course I'm going to pick up some of these and try them out. and I more than likely am gonna like them. I can kind of tell I am. The first book that I picked up that's an alien alpha romance is called Alpha Sage, and this is book 1 of 5 in the Omega Mate series by Pearl Tate. And I do believe that this is probably going to be a 6-booker, because I think in the synopsis when I initially read it, she said that there were 6 alphas. I will get on to reading the synopsis for this one so you guys know what this is about. 6 alphas are stunned as their prayers are answered, and omegas are miraculously delivered to them from the sky. Sunny. I can't remember what happened leading up to my abduction by aliens, but I sure remember waking up. I'm trapped inside a tiny, clear spacecraft, heading to the surface of a planet that doesn't look familiar. Everyone with me is just as confused as we barrel through the sky in the individual pods we're strapped inside back to back. Then my pod shoots out from the others and I'm on my own. After that, it doesn't take long to run into the local inhabitants, but of course I run from them. They're not human, but I realize I can understand them. Could that have something to do with the gnarly scar on the back of my head? According to the alien that's now dragging me around and punishing me like a child, I belong to him. He's smoking hot even though he's purple, but his possessive streak is a little over the top. So, yes, this, and the author says that this is a sci-fi male-female omega romance, omegaverse romance, and it has nodding, and it also has a spanking by a dominant and possessive alpha. So if you don't like that, I would suggest not to read this. But yes, I'm excited to read this because I heard that a big theme in the alpha alien romance world is that the women are like trying to escape in pods. So yes, I'm very excited to read this one. I don't know if I'm going to read this one first though, but I'm really excited for it to see how Sunny and her possessive mate end up, getting with each other. The 5th and final book that I will be reading for Knotty November is Rescued by the Alien Military, and this is Cryo Crisis books number 1 through 6. Okay, so these 1 through 6 books are short stories, so they're about between 60 to 80 pages each. So I thought, why not read all 6 of them? They come in a set, so that's what I'm going to do. And these books are by the author Deiri D. I hope I'm saying that right. This is a new to me author, actually. I have never read anything by this author. So I'm excited to read this. I think that cryosleep is a super interesting topic in the alien romance sphere. And it doesn't really get mentioned a lot. But that is going to be something I'm going to put in one of my alien romances when I write one. So here is the synopsis for these 6 little short stories. Awoken from cryopods into a human cult's prison camp and rescued by alien soldiers, the women of Cryo Crisis don't know what lies ahead. They know nothing about these aliens, their physiology, or their intentions. All they know is that the alien men are cut and focused on serving their every need. These first 6 interwoven short stories are the beginning of a steamy journey across time and space where each woman builds her relationship with a man who wants to claim her as his bonded mate. Each story is a salacious stand alone that pieces together into a greater whole. What do the aliens want? Why did they rescue the human women? How can the women seize back control over their future? And so the authors just let you know that this has a lot of adult language. It's very steamy. It has nodding in it. And if you're offended by restraints, cults, culture clashes, communication, alien physiology, or women screaming repeatedly, well, maybe you should not read this little story and get over that. That's her little author note. I am really excited to read this. I like the concept of a human cult. That's new and different. I'm excited to see how that works, and I'm really excited to see how these alien men get these women to be their mates and how the knotting goes, because, you know, they're aliens, they're not paranormal creatures like werewolves, so how's that gonna work? So that is the 5th and final book that I will be reading for Knotty November. Alright, so that is the end of the video. I hope that you all liked the 5 books that I will be reading for Knotty November. And if you would like, I would love if you would join me in reading books that have knots in them for Knotty November. That would be so awesome. And you can even tag me on Instagram. My Instagram is @TiffStellarReads, and I will put a little note up here. And you can let me know if you are participating in Knotty November. That would make me really, really happy. But even if you're not, let me know in the comments below what you think about these books, and if these books may make it onto your TBR at some point. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really love making these videos for you all and just sharing some new and weird, outrageously, you know, cool books with you guys. So thanks for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.